The Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series is back once again on track, ready here on a Tuesday night. Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, is the place to be. What a series that has been so far. Round number 5 it is tonight. We've seen super speedways. We've seen 1.5 miles. Last week we've seen a 1 mile track. This time it is considered a super speedway, but we all know Pocono Tricky Triangle isn't driven that way indeed. Peter Gret and Jai Schultz in the commentary for this evening. Well, Jai, how are you feeling leading into Pocono? Because if history sort of replays itself in real life and on the sim, it can be quite a challenging, very challenging track to get some green runs on.
Yeah, it's definitely a track that can bite you pretty hard if you get the liners wrong, and being 3 distinctive turns on this track and all 3 being very, very different, it's a bit hard to set up these trucks to tackle all 3. So it's definitely going to be definitely a track that's going to bite if you do get it wrong.
It's going to be a great night. As I mentioned, we got 70 laps coming right up here. It's located in real life in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Of course, iRacing, well, they keep just bringing out these awesome tracks. This one's been around on the traps for iRacing for quite some time. The Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway, and around about 14 degrees banking for turn 1, around about 8 degrees banking for turn 2, and not a lot about it for the rest of the track there. Jai, 2.5 miles, super speedway, but not driven like one.
Yeah, it's a little different than the Daytonas and the Talladegas. You've got to lift a little bit, but yeah, definitely same length at 2.5 mile.
2.5 miles super speedway length, and we're going to be here for 70 laps. The guys are in practice at the minute, and this is, you know, sort of one leg of the Royal Triple Crown that they could be, you know, taking part of. Remember, Talladega, there'll be a few races of them. Daytona, there'll be a few races of them, and also the series. And if you take that out, well, that's $1,000 up for grabs. So it's going to be interesting who takes that out of a pretty long series, 16 weeks. But for the Royal Triple Crown, here's how they stand. The Daytona, Talladega, well, obviously they don't change just yet until we get there again in around about 3 weeks' time, I think. But the series has just changed up a little bit. Michael Skurlock, Steve Williams, Andy Barber, Dave Douglas, and Jason Holdsworth. They're your top 5 in the series, and a long series, Jai, and anything can happen. And any one of these drivers that we're showing on screen, and probably a number of drivers that we're not showing on screen, could be, you know, could be a favourite to take out the Royal Triple Crown.
Yeah, it's definitely some different names up there in the series leaderboard there, as we kind of go through this first stint of the championship, and then once we get back to Talladega and Daytona for the middle section of that part of the championship, obviously they'll change as well. So it's definitely up for grabs, and definitely a hard task to come out on top of.
It's going to be a great night. We see in real life along this straight that we just taking a look at now, that they seem to want to get out of each other's draft and sort of make their way through. That's pretty much what I've seen in the races. Sort of, you might as well call it research in the lead up to this round. But yeah, they take a little bit of a different line, probably shake the tail and try and get it going. But in practice right now, Jai, still got a little bit going before we get into this practice, as Dave Douglas has a big moment, but Mackenzie get on top with a 53.4, so pretty quick time here.
Yeah, definitely times are quick, and they're very close as well. So yeah, it's hard to pick who's come out on top on qualifying. Obviously, just getting those 2 laps all by yourself to run around the track and get a time, but it's definitely going to be the one that can adapt to 3 different corners around this track.
And I think once we get into the race as well, it's going to be all about tyres, fuel. Well, if Pocono plays a part, in which it has done in multiple series and in fact real life, then safety cars are given, and you just you top up the fuel on the safety cars. 2 over the wall as well, so 3 sets in total. Jai, you got to use them, sort of wisely, don't you? In these sorts of races, try and get there with the greenest tyres, because that's going to count when we come into the last 20 laps of this race.
Yeah, definitely. It's tyre wear is gonna contribute to this one. Just in the practice session that was held earlier today, it was the tyre wear as a whole wasn't actually that bad. They were doing a full fuel run and only getting around the mid 80% mark, but the time drop off over that run was near on 2 seconds from start to finish of the run. So even though the tyre wear doesn't look like it's that bad, the time drop off is going to be the bigger part tonight, I reckon.
And you call me the magician, and you're also known as the strategist, Jai. So, and you're no stranger to these NASCAR trucks, mate. With 2 over the wall and what could be a cracking night of racing and long green runs, how would you plan coming into this? Because you'd want to have a few sort of strategies or different sort of plans up your sleeve as the car goes around.
I think the 2 main strategies that we possibly might see tonight would be the first one being the long run and pretty much running out that tank of fuel and getting the fresh tyres and doing it that way, and the other one would possibly be doing a short stop but keeping the same tyres on for those 2 kind of shorter stints, about just over half of a full length stint. So I think they're going to be the two dominant strategies, but as we know in the trucks and any oval racing really, all it takes is one pace car and all that goes out the window.
I think, cautions do breed cautions. We've seen that before, and I think cautions, just based on what we've sort of seen, is probably 100%, and it's the restarts lately that has just been sort of lacking a little bit. But as the session now goes into qualifying, so the practice runs are done, they're going to get in and start to set a time here at Pocono. Round number 5 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. A shout out to all the admins behind the scenes, of course, get us here week in, week out. Naming right sponsor Skypoynt, not only for the season, but for the series. And don't forget the Royal Triple Crown is up for grabs as well, up around about $1,000 up for grabs for that one. And, of course, everyone tuning in and everyone competing. Of course, we can talk about mowed grasses as much as we want. It's going to be a little less appealing, but let's have a crack. Let's have a red hot crack here at Pocono, Jai. It's going to be a good race. They're in qualifying. And, well, tyres is going to be the real thing. And qualifying, does it matter? Oh, at tracks like this, as Sebastian Vandel, car number 4, gets a little bit sideways. But does qualifying matter, Jai, in races like this, on tracks like this?
Yeah, a few of the guys are a bit concerned about being outside that top 15, just in a bit of chat before the race. So they're definitely a bit worried about being buried a bit further back in this pack, especially with the nice size field we have tonight. So yeah, everyone will be seems to be looking for that top 15 at least.
Top 15, let's see what they can do and see where they can start. Remember, we've got a field probably around about 35 trucks strong, so it's going to be good once we get green. We've got to get qualifying out of the way. Tom Pritchard's on a pretty good flyer at the moment. Skypoynt Truck 6 and director of our naming right sponsor. Still no times yet to be set. He's around about 70 the way through, and he's just a pretty calm approach, wasn't it, from Tom to start his flyer as the times start coming in. And Aidan Schulz, well, briefly had the top time with a 53.67, but Darren McKenzie, and we were talking off air, weren't we, Jai, that Darren McKenzie's the dark horse, I think, and 53.51 is his time so far.
Yeah, we're definitely doing a lot of strategies and a lot of laps earlier. So yeah, definitely definitely the dark horse according to his teammates, but we've got a few of those boys up the front as well so far. We've got 14 people setting a time. So we're about halfway through the qualifying session at the moment.
As we move in, as qualifying goes through around about halfway, which you rightly pointed out, Skurlock leads the championship 404 rather points. He's got a little bit of a gap between Steve Williams, Andy Barber from Skypoynt up there in third position, Dave Douglas in fourth, and Holdsworth in fifth position as well. So the championship is heating up, and a few big names up there, and a couple of names that are a little bit further down. Our car number one of Aidan Shields back there, 18th in the championship. So tough old start for our championship defender, and see what he can do in tonight's race. Currently sitting fourth on the qualifying standings as we go to Jason Holdsworth from Nitro. He's going to get out of it. I think all these times are done. Jai, these times are fairly close and even.
Yeah, it's definitely not much in between them, and within a tenth of a second between our first and second places at the moment as well. So top 12 are separated by half a second now. So it's yeah, definitely close, and these guys running the open setup this season as well. There's a lot of work that goes into their setups, and it's definitely showing here tonight.
Yeah, we've just moved this season, haven't we, to from fixed setup to open setup. So that's one thing that we haven't mentioned, or you did mention. But yeah, there's bring your own setup, find what you're comfortable, and have a red hot crack. But as qualifying comes to the end, Pocono, Jai, what's your gut feeling with tonight? With leading in tonight, rather.
If I was driving one of these trucks here tonight, my gut feeling would be watching the truck, or watching if any trucks go a little bit wide with a bit of push into the tunnel turn at turn 2, and kind of bouncing off that outside wall back into the pack. So that's the first obstacle I'd probably be looking out for.
Get off the line clean, miss that section of track that Jai's just talking about. I think I've watched a little bit of trucks here today just to try and get the mind fresh, and I think I did see a couple of drivers or a couple of cars in real life hit that wall there. So that's interesting. Let's see if we can keep it clean as we bring up the grid for round number 5 with the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series. Darren McKenzie with a 53.383 put it on pole position. Outside him will be Kai Turner. Sebastian Vantel up there will start in second row alongside Aidan Shields. Jason Holdsworth from Nitro Racing, he'll start alongside Craig Roffey. Adam Malone from Southern Stars in 7th, and Dave Douglas in 8th. Trent Gosley and Reese May, they'll start outside of the top 10, and yeah, it's going to be pretty good. And where would you like to be starting off with a Jai as we come to, sort of a race start here?
Definitely be up in that top 15, as some of the guys were saying, but it probably as far forward as possible that I'd be able to start. I'd be happier the further forward I am. So definitely not wanting to be back in that kind of mid to rear pack of this one.
Well, we've got a big field here tonight, Jai. I think we've probably got almost close to 40, so 36 drivers, in fact. Or 38 drivers, as my timing just wants to correct. But 38 drivers, almost 40 drivers here at Pocono. Long green runs, or do you think we may be seeing stop-start?
We might see a little bit of stop-start at the beginning of this one. And then it should calm down a bit as the night goes on as well, I think.
iRacing control all the penalties. Not too sure. 0 fast repairs, I'm pretty sure, with this series. So you wreck, you're out. Or, well, oval racing, you're never really out, do you, really, until Barney waves that checkered flag as we watch these drivers peel away and start their formation lap. Round 5, Jai, believe it or not, is the series is going along nicely, and We've seen some great racing. I think tonight's going to be pretty much some of the same of what we have seen, because we have seen some pretty incredible driving and pretty incredible battles over the last 5 rounds.
Yeah, and just a hats off as well to the guys that run this league again, just to have the numbers that they achieve week in, week out, and all the social media and all the admin stuff they do behind the scenes as well. It's pretty incredible to see, and they're doing a bit of a stellar job in doing so. But yeah, definitely healthy fields week in, week out, and got another very healthy field here tonight.
Pocono, the tricky triangle, it's going to show when we go green just how tricky it is. Darren McKenzie, Kai Turner, they're out the front. They're out of all the carnage, possibly, if we see any, the lights are out, so the pace car will pull in. It's going to be a great night of racing. Round number 5, I can't believe we're already talking round number 5. I'll get to kicking those trolls in the YouTube chat. I do apologise, but give us a shout out along the way how the audio is. I know it's been a little bit quiet the last couple of weeks, but we'll see if we can get it right this week. 70 laps here, Pocono. Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E-Series. We're just about ready to get a race start. McKenzie will bring us to green. Kai Turner. When's he going to go? He's gone. Remember, Geico restart zones. Good start by the 018 by Turner. He's got the high line. The car one of Schulz with a good start. He started back. He's already up a couple of positions. He's in 4th. Good start, but a couple of lines starting to form, Jai.
Yeah, we see him spread out, even up to 3 wide. He's going to on the apron there, come and do one. So we'll just have to see, and he has saved it. So awesome job by that driver on the inside. Yeah, definitely fanning out going into turn 1, and they're just coming up to the tunnel turn now.
See if they can keep it clean a little bit side by side. You want to get into sort of a single line of stern as quick as you can, because, well, it's an up and down track. It's not really a high line, in my opinion, not really a high line or a low line. You've got to utilise both, and it's going to be a tyres thing as we stay green after that pretty clean start. Darren McKenzie, Vandell Turner, they're starting to push away a little bit, and Aidan Schulz starts this second group off.
Yeah, there's definitely certain lines that you can take around this track, and it's into turn 1. It's kind of like a big arc, as we see most of these drivers do here. As we see, I think that's one of the Southern Stars and Rockies going side by side through turn 1. So there's definitely a few lines, and definitely looking at them to fan out down the straightaways as well.
I've just took note of that. Also, with some of the research that I've done, the truck 3 of Adam Malone gets around Craig Groffey there, but they do start to weave around on the straights and start to look at shaking up the field, getting them out of the draft down the inside for 96 of Reese May, so he's looking to push on early. Lap 2 of 70, still plenty to go, and the 3 is starting to push away. But look at the load of cars here as car 10 of Dave Douglas wants to have a crack in. I think he's got a couple of teammates up ahead to Jai, so this track it warrants being around cars, as he just makes another position around the 96.
Yeah, definitely. It just goes back to that that whole trust factor about the other drivers and who you feel comfortable with racing around, and who you're comfortable with working your way forward as well as a team. If you're not teammates, or if you just race around, as we see one car just getting the wall there slightly. So yeah, definitely goes back to the trust thing, and these guys are in round 5 now, so they've learnt who they can race around and who they want to work with if they don't have any of their teammates right there with them at the time of the event. So.
Well, these guys aren't teammates up the front. Mackenzie Vandell, Aidan Schulz is in there as well. And have a look at Holdsworth up the inside of Kai Turner. Kai Turner, he would have got a bonus point for leading this one. He's stuck on the high line. He's going to get hung out to dry, but I think we've got Craig Robbie from Middle Split Racing coming up to probably help him out. No, so he slides back in there, and one line, it looks like that's the way they're going. Adam Malone looks like he's trying to get down the inside of Turner as well, but definitely would hate to be left alone there, out to dry. Jai, as you see a couple of guys just getting left out there and losing multiple positions every time they go around there.
Yeah, it's definitely seeming like if you can kind of get your nose to that rear quarter panel coming into turn 1, you can kind of hold the other driver up just high enough to get the advantage and clear the other truck on the exit. So definitely the spot to make a move this early on in the race.
We have a look at 2, 3 rows deep, 2 wide. Reese May, Steve Williams, Andy Barber's in amongst with that as well. We've got 2 Skypoynt cars in this battle, in fact, as we fly past the camera. So the battles are happening pretty much where we are. Few movers, not too many, big ones. As Raymond Yeager, he's probably the biggest on track at the minute, up 7 positions, and he continues to push up through the field. Lap 5 of 70 though. We're staying green. Pocono, well, this is pretty much what we expect. Long green runs and maybe 1 or 2 cautions to spice it up. But right now, these guys at the front doing a good job. The guys in the middle just as equally. Raymond Yeager, our mover at the minute, up 7 positions.
Yeah, the boys have definitely behaved themselves this week, and so far so good. We've only seen, I think it was 1 truck get a bit loose on the apron in turn 1, and another truck just go a little bit wide through the tunnel turn of turn 2, and just scrape along the wall as well. So definitely clean and giving each other room and racing hard at the same time.
And talk of racing hard, I'll just look a little bit further down the field. We got Michael Skurlock on a push. Matty Simpson's under pressure from Vassell and Simpson. We may see 3 wide. Skurlock, no, thinks different of it as he gets right underneath the 97 of Vassell. They wants to go underneath Simpson. They can't do it this time round. This is the battle just outside the top 15, Jai. So that's just to sort of reiterate what we say every week. Is you've got to look everywhere for the battles. This battle's been intriguing me the whole time. The 96 of Reese May is under pressure, a little bit behind by Nigel Patton down the inside. A little bit of contact. Gets through, gets the position done.
Yeah, his truck's looking a bit banged up there with the 96, but just got to the inside there at turn 1 and just held him up there a little bit, and definitely made that move that we've seen quite a few of these drivers do. But yeah, Skurlock's doing an awesome job at the moment. He's up 5 from where he started, but our current championship leader, and he's a bit further forward normally, so he would be trying his best to try and get back up there, and he's doing a pretty stellar job at the moment of doing so.
He's got Jason Holdsworth behind him. You know, you could one slip up and that could be your race, but he's keeping it strong. So Aidan Shields in this battle here, up 1 from where he started. Holdsworth also up 1. Dave Douglas, he's touching to the back of this 3-car chain here. He's up 3 positions as they move away from this, probably sort of developing a second pack. Dave Douglas, he wants to stay involved in this, but Adam Malone, car 3, Southern Stars Esport, he leads this next group as Raymond Yeager down the inside of Craig Roffey, and it looks like the sort of inside line there, and some may say even a slider line down there as the side draft is in effect. Jai, down the inside, and you don't know when this position's going to get done, but they're both holding off, but down the inside, they're going to file in behind one another there. So it takes a lot to get that position done, as we can see that battle's position's still not fully changed there yet, Jai. So down the inside, but battle to get that done.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer than it has taken Raymond Yeager to pass other trucks so far in this race, but as he keeps working his way forward, it's going to be harder and harder to pass these trucks. As obviously the quicker guys, we just see 2 of them maybe get a push wrong. Will we go yellow? We're going to go yellow here.
Jason Holdsworth, a little bit of contact there, I do believe. Jai just, gets spun around. I think we got one of the Gaming Den trucks, 117 truck of Matty Simpson, was involved in that. So that come out of nowhere. We look like we're going green, and going green for long periods, but maybe not, Jai.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a weird one, that one, coming up to turn 2 there. I'm not sure if it was maybe a block gone wrong or a push gone a bit wrong, but yeah, definitely came out of the blue.
So we have a look at a Skypoint action replay. Let's have a look. We're looking at the 11 of Holdsworth. And then cars behind him really having to try their best to get around. Most of the cars did. A couple of contacts with the others, but that's what's brought out the caution, Jai. And thankfully, only probably 2 or 3 cars involved in that.
Yeah, it did look like a few light scrapes as a lot of these trucks tried to get around that stationary car in the middle of turn 2. So great job for all the drivers behind to get through the best they can, and that's probably the last thing you're expecting as well, is coming into a turn and there's a stop truck in the middle of the road as well. So definitely hats off to all the drivers and getting through that one.
Mackenzie leads, Schulz, Vandell, Malone, Douglas. That's your 5. Turner, Roffey, Raymond Yeager up 9 positions, so he's starting to push his way through. Trent Gosley, Steve William. That's the 10 driving around at the moment. First caution here. Skypoint NASCAR Trucks E-Series. And as expected, a busy pit lane. This is a little bit of a top up for fuel. I don't think we'll see many if any change fuel. Tyres, rather. There we go. Got it out.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Pete. It's a bit too early to change tyres, I reckon. But stopping down, they can pretty much run as hard as they want to the end and make it a 2-stopper from here on out. So definitely takes the fuel strategy out of the game at this point. But any other caution may change that as well.
Dave Douglas, I don't believe pit. Pit, Jai, I'm not too sure if you can correct me in that. The truck 10 that's staying out there now, I'm not too sure, has pit. So that's interesting.
Yeah, he's the only truck that stayed out under this yellow.
And what's your thoughts on that sort of scenario? His truck looks pretty clean. Is he going for track position and try and hold off? But we've also been racing for 11 laps. The the wear on the tyres and stuff like that, do you think that's a smart thing staying out, or just trying something?
Well, as we were saying, we went the first 9 laps on the green, so it's looking more towards the green flag runs over the constant cautions, but cautions do breed cautions, as they say. So it's definitely a bold call, and especially being the only car that stayed out. You've got all the trucks behind you have come down pit road already, so it's you versus the world kind of thing. So it's definitely a bold call, and we'll have to see if it plays out for Dave up the front here.
He's going to be a little bit lighter on as well. We don't think any of the drivers would have changed tyres that did stop, so the lighter fuel may save him a little bit. These guys will be trying to conserve tyres as the leaders just swap over sides of the track. Dave Douglas looks like he's going to bring us to green and up 7 positions, and he was the only truck to stay out. So a little bit of, just by looking at that, I think a little bit of misfortune leading into the race, and he's stayed out for the only benefit of track position in my own opinion anyway. We got Southern Stars cars, and they've found each other. Darren McKenzie, Aidan Schulz and Adam Malone, they're 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and some good what's that word now? Some mean competitiveness. That didn't come out very fluent at all. Raymond Yeager, Roffey, Pritchard and Crummy. So pretty feisty in this top 10.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I'm noticing here is these 3 Southern Star Esports cars up the front in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So they'll be taking it to Dave up here, but Dave will be nice and light, and more so on the same tyres as well. So we'll see if Dave can get the jump, and as we come to the restart zone, and see how they go getting them back underway on the older tyres. They're not brand new this time, so we'll see if they get any wheel spin.
Double stinting the tyres. The tyres will be cool. This will extend their stint. 2 tyres over the wall. Open setup. Bring pretty much a setup and have a crack here. The pace car peels off. Round 5, the Skypoynt NASCAR truck E-Series. Dave Douglas brings us the green for the first time. Mackenzie Schulz, he goes with him. Malone and Jaeger a little bit further back. They went with each other as well. But good start from Dave Douglas. Good start from the rest of the field as we're green again.
Yeah, it's an absolutely awesome start off the front row, and Dave definitely cleared him into turn 1. So you see him fan out a little bit, and even getting on to about 3 wide as they all keep it off the wall coming through 1, and see if they can do the same in turn 2.
We go a little bit further back to Tom Pritchard, up 12 positions from where he first initially started. He's got, that's 04 of Trent Gosley down his inside, and 2 Skypoynt trucks now working together. But the 04 down the inside, he perseveres, and another battle. So these moves are getting done, or attempted to be done in that one corner, I think, Giant. I think that's pretty much where you're going to get done. We tempt almost 3 wide, bridging this battle just inside the top 10.
Yeah, it's definitely lighting up and yeah, trying to get the runs, and as you said, the 2 Skypoynt cars trying to work together as well. So we're starting to see a few of these team cars find each other throughout the mid pack as well, and try and work their way together forwards as the night goes on.
Weighed in comments as well. Dave made a good call staying out. Short 10 lap green coming up, so that let's see if that plays out. Hopefully your work stint, you'll be able to race next week as Michael Skurlock's down the inside once again. So he's been down a little bit further. He's one of those drivers that have pit. You'll see the rainbow coloured car of the truck, the 350 machine, around a lot tonight, up 9. Currently sitting in 13th. A few guys moving back and moving around in the rear of field, or should I say midfield there. Jai, would you want to be around a car at this stage of the race that's moving around a lot, or around a group of guys that are just happy to click over laps?
Definitely be got a spinner down to the inside as we've gone caution again, but no, definitely want to be around the stable car.
So what have we got? I think that was Jason Holdsworth. Just spun around there. So Jason Holdsworth, we know, is super quick around in the trucks and around in the oval scene. And let's have a look. So he's riding up there at the front. He's getting a little bit of a bump from one of the Roffey cars. I think a bump a little bit too hard into the wall.
I think that may have been the first caution as he comes to a stop.
Yes, he does. So good pick up there as I'll go down to the next yellow flag, and we'll see if we can pick something else up there. I've got Chris Tomlin had a crash, but that was after the yellow flag was called, and bugger all before that, Jai. So we'll have a look at Chris Tomlin here. We'll see if this has got anything to do with it. Because the car definitely spun coming out of, I think, 3 and 4. That's the 2-1-2, so it is in fact, I remember seeing this go a little bit higher in the air. So self-spin, round he goes, brings out a caution.
Yeah, he's just grabbed the end of that wall just before the access road as well. So if that wall ended probably another 2 meters prior to where he hit, he might have been able to drive out of that one. So definitely some unlucky lucky for Chop there.
And it's easy to do here, just tap the wall, and hindsight, well, you missed that wall rather by 10 mil. You got through and you didn't spin out, but not the case this time as he falls through the field. And Tomlin's currently sitting down 25, 36th where he started. 38 drivers still pedaling around here, and Back under caution again, Dave Douglas stays out. Mackenzie, Schulz, Malone, Jaeger, Roffey, Crum, Pritchard. So them names are there again as Andy Barber also. He's up to sitting there in 10th position. Pretty good starter, and back into pits for fuel, and a couple of little late dives in there I see from a couple of boys. Jai, check that out.
Yeah, it was definitely very indecisive coming to pit road there, as we saw a lot of drivers dive in. But we've got Michael Skurlock and Stevie Dubb had very good results last week, and they've elected to stay out as well. So definitely splitting up the strategy quite a lot here. And yeah, we'll still have to see that play out. But yeah, the top 10 on track at the moment have stayed out under this caution.
They're going to have older tyres, but well, they've got track position. And super speedway they call it. And I'm not too sure if a super speedway strategy will get you home in this one, but second caution of the night, a lap 17 of 70, Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series, Douglas, Roffey, Crum, Skurlock, Williams. There your fives. Douglas will bring us to green once again. 54.4 was the best time for Douglas. 54.4 also for Roffey, and only a little bit out. 54.41 for Luke Crum. Although lap times don't count, it's good to see that a few of these guys that are running pretty close together in the top three in terms of lap speed.
Yeah, it's definitely some pretty quick times though, and looking at the slight damage on the front of Dave's truck there in first place, it's quite an incredible time that he's been able to achieve as well. So I know a lot of super speedways, and even here at Pocono, it's the slightest body wrinkle or slightest bit of damage can really affect the truck. So he's doing a pretty stellar job in keeping it up front and working the strategy to his best advantage. So we've got just about to tick over lap 18, and the fuel window was really about 22 to 25 laps. Obviously the cautions will be helping, so we'll pretty much be looking at Dave to go to around the lap 28 to 30 mark, I reckon.
And what position do you think he's most likely, just under your sort of number crunching, where he'll come out after his stop in relative to the leaders?
It really depends on if he does pit under caution, or if he's forced to pit under the green flag if they do go green here. So Pocono is quite a long track, and having the lap times that the better part of 54-second lap times, it's quite touch and go to go a lap down. But if he stays in the position or even in the top 10 kind of area before he does that green flag pit stop, he shouldn't go a lap down. So it's not the end of the world, and not necessarily over pitting under green, but he'll probably be definitely looking for a caution around that lap 28ish, 29 kind of area, and hopefully pull the rest of the field down with him as well, and hold that lead.
Look to see a couple of the guys that have stayed out to pit in the next couple of laps. The pace truck lights are out. We're going to see green racing here again. Big movers. Luke Kenny up 23, up 24 for Blackburn, up 28 for Anderson. Dave Douglas, he has yet to pit. I think Craig Roffey's on the similar strategy to him, so looking probably about 4 laps to go, and interesting to see what's going to happen off this restart, whether those guys have pushed their tyres, or it depends on what sort of battle you're in as well. And that's another thing that I'd be doing, getting right up there underneath the grid of your competitor, making them use their resources. Pace truck peels away. Dave Douglas brings us to green. Craig Roffey goes with him. Luke Crum and Skurlock go side by side down into turn 1 after we go green. They're keeping with that 2 lines astern. They want to really get down to that bottom line and just click over laps as we go yellow again there, Jai.
Yeah, it was interesting to see what actually happened there, because I noticed on the restart there we had about the top 50% of the field get away, but then there didn't seem to be any trucks, so maybe the midfield, someone may have spun them up or done something, but definitely there was only about half the trucks in that shot than I thought there would be.
Let's have a look. Just we'll go high in the air. Let's have a look, see if we can capture what happened off that restart as the pace truck's in. So we're going green. Oh, look, there's a couple of, I think, Stars cars into each other. There's Pinnacles involved in that. And actually, that's a quite a big incident off the restart that we just missed. And that just reiterates your point there, where top 15 cars were there, and then there was a big break. But that's a big incident off the restart. That's not what they would like.
Yeah, it's definitely appearing that it's torn up quite a few trucks here as well, as everyone tries to get going, and smoke coming out of that truck on the inside you'd assume that it's done the motor in that one as well, so would be in for a very lengthy repair. But if they can get that truck out, and any truck really involved in any wreck in a league that doesn't have fast repairs, if they can get it repaired and get back out on the track, it might be worth a couple of points as well. So definitely wise to take the repairs and get out as quickly as possible, and still try and scrape together some form of result after a bit of an unfortunate incident.
Well, lap 20 is 70, 50 laps to go, and if Oval Racing has taught me anything, is don't give up, stay out there, keep pedaling around and doing some laps, and just focus on the car 23 of Troy Mortensen. He's pedaling around, a little bit of damage to the outside of them, his car there, Jai. We'll just grab him and bring him in, but not a very perfect start. But Troy, a couple of marks on your car, but all in all, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, not going too bad. I just got caught up in that little bit of a tangle, but yeah, everybody's gone into pits, so I'll just go and do a lap and then go into the pits and try my luck.
How's it feel out there with all the competitors, Troy? Is it nervy jumping up beside one of these guys and fighting them for the battle, or are you just hanging out?
Just hanging out. I thought I'd try and do a bit of highline driving because I didn't actually get any done in practice. But yeah, I don't like the highline. So
I don't like the highline either because it's too close to that wall, mate. But you're currently sitting behind the pace truck there. Will you get a wave around and get to go around at some point?
I'm not too sure, actually, to be honest. I've only just come out of the pit, so I might even just stay out. But then I don't want to start the front. So,
Jai, you've raced around a lot with Troy, and without trying to be biased at all, what would you do? Would you share any insight in what Jai Schultz would do at this time?
There's always a few bonus points for leading the lap here, Troy. So might be a good time to pinch that bonus point. But definitely doing a great job and keeping it up there, and trying to move the truck around. But yeah, definitely is it a bit nerve-wracking, like driving around a few of these trucks that are kind of moving around a bit?
Yeah, the setup that I'm using is a bit taily, up top. But anyway, I've just got a wave around, so I don't know why that was the case, but anyway.
Well, Oval Racing, it confuses me at the best of times, Troy. But well, you look to be pretty comfortable behind the wheel. Pocono is a track, tricky triangle. Does it live up to its name, being tricky?
Yes, for me anyway, because my driving skill set's not up there like some of them. But anyway, I got the cat here sitting on my lap. He's my crew chief. We'll just stick around and we'll go from there.
Good luck, Troy and Casper. Hopefully we can talk to you at the end of it on Victory Lane.
No worries. Cheers, guys. Have a good call.
Troy Mortensen, we throw him back up in the chat with everyone, Jai. But he was leading a race, and he was a little bit confused in why he got the wave around there. But well, he's going to hopefully get his lap back at some point, and The lights are off in the pace truck. I'll let you bring them to green this time. Jai, lap 22.70 here at Pocono.
Yeah, so we're going to restart on lap 23 here, and the outside pole is Michael Skurlock, so he's made his way all the way up to the front, up 20 positions, last pitting on lap 10 as well. So we've got everyone's made at least one pit stop now because we're coming around turn 3, and pace truck will spear off here as we come up to the restart zone. We'll see if Roffick can get a jump on Skurlock here as we go green once more. They all stay in line. They're not fanning out as much anymore as Skurlock kind of drops down as we go caution straight away.
Another caution as well. So just we've seen that in a few rounds, haven't we, where we go green in a long period, so we know we can. And the guys, sometimes when they get on the restart, it just takes a couple of goes at it. Lap 23 or 70. I think this is our fourth restart as hotkey will work eventually. There we go. Lap 23 or 74th caution. And really, to be honest, isn't it been in the last probably 6 laps, 8 laps, Jai, where we've seen all them cautions?
Yeah, we had a decent little run of about 9 laps before we saw the first caution, and yeah, now on lap 23, and we've seen what is now our 4th caution. So definitely a bit stop-start again, like we saw last week, but hopefully these boys can settle it down and get a green flag run happening as well.
It's going to be good to get them to do some green flag pit stops as we go have a look at a Skypoint action replay. This is what I think happened off this restart a little bit further back, or it may have even happened a little bit further because Adam Tice, well, he crashed and then went back to pits. That may have caused it again because then we went green and then Matty Simpson had a bit of a crash. So we're still right on board with Skypoint action replay as the guys are on the caution, 4th caution of the night. Matty Simpson, the gaming den, gets a little bit taily and not the first nor the last, and that may have been another reason why we're under caution. But a couple of scenarios there, Jai. I'm not too sure if I can pinpoint either of them.
Yeah, it's definitely both of those incidents there that we've just shown on the replays definitely can bring out a caution. And it was probably a bit unlucky timing as well because the rate that caution came out after taking the green flag, if it happened maybe 5 seconds prior, it would have just extended the green, so we would have only been under caution for 1 more lap instead of a whole nother caution period. So it was a bit of unlucky timing as well.
Craig Roffey makes his way down pit road. Skurlock, Crum, Williams, Blackburn, they all stay out. Mackenzie, Shields, Malone, so Southern Stars, they choose to come in alongside Dave Douglas and Raymond Yeager. So another busy pit lane. Do the drivers think we're going to see green for long periods, or are they just trying to get out of it, Jai? What would you be thinking at this time?
Well, it seems like they're just coming in under every caution and topping up with fuel. So a lot of these drivers are only stopping for anywhere between 5 to 8 seconds, or 5 to 9 seconds every time they come in. So we see some of the Southern Star boys actually get their trucks lifted up, so maybe they're getting rid of that first set of tyres and chucking their second set of boots on.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I don't think they're going to let on into those strategies. We'll get our championship defender and a guy that's had a pretty relatively clean race. Aidan Shields, he's got the number 1 on. His race number's usually car 52, but Southern Stars esports guys, they're working together well tonight here, Aidan. A little bit stop-start, but what's the feel out there on track?
Mate, interesting question. Just trying to keep it out of trouble, to be honest with you. Cars are pretty quick, or trucks are pretty quick. We know what we got, but yeah, just trying to keep it out of trouble. We haven't had a long run yet, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
You probably won't give us anything. This was Jai's idea. Probably should have threw it over to him to try and get it out of you. How many tyres you got left? Have you changed some tyres out yet, or you're not willing to give that information out?
mate. You're not a rookie at this. Come on now.
Well,
Come on now. But we're in a good spot. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, Jai, what do you reckon? 10 points for trying?
Yeah, definitely 10 points to trying, but I've got a question as well for you, Aiden. Just before we go, Green, we've touched on the track length being super speedway-esque, and the Southern Stars are running pretty much 3 trucks line to stern. Does it matter as much line to stern as team cars, or is it a bit of not too much important as the other super speedways we go to?
Oh, well, it's totally opposite to a super speedway, Pocono. It might be that way in length, but totally different. Obviously, down the long stretches, the draft does help, but no. The aero definitely does play a thing through turn 2 as well that we're going through now on the sighting lap. So, yeah, not really, but I don't know. We'll see how we go. I tell you what, my heart's in my mouth. It's been good so far. We'll see how we go. 26 into 70.
Well, we're just about ready to go, Green, mate. Good luck for the rest of the race and continue to keep your nose clean.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good call and watch for these Southern Stars guys to get to the front.
That's the call, Jai. Watch for the Southern Stars boys get to the front. They're working well in a team, and 2 or 3 cars there in close proximity of each other. That's what you want to do. That's the one way to bring us the green. 4th caution, lap 26 of 70 here at Pocono. Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series. Skurlock's going to lead us to green. A little bit of a checkup a little bit further on. Oh, I thought we were going to go back yellow there, but we stay green there. Skurlock, Williams, Crum, Blackburn. Bit of a checkup at the back there, just over the line there. Jai, did you catch a bit of that?
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a stack up on the restart there, but not as much as we've seen the previous 2 times. But one thing I have noticed as well, that there's a few cars down with those Southern Star cars that actually have some fresh tyres, I reckon, as well. So definitely quite a few drivers that make their mark and make their way forward quite quickly here.
Well, we tried to get it out of Aiden from Southern Stars when we were just having a chat with him, but he wouldn't let on. Just based on data, do you think that they've changed tyres?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of longest pit stops, but one thing that the trucks do have, and pretty much all the different variants of NASCARs here on iRacing, is the trucks or the cars don't actually get jacked up when it's fuel only. So I saw a couple of wonky looking trucks, so they definitely weren't sitting flat on the pit lane when I did see them. So definitely reckon they've taken a fresh set of boots here.
Well, I think, and I'm no strategist as you are, Jai, but I think that if you take tyres now, you're probably hoping on a late caution, because we know that a couple of these drivers are going to double stint a fuel load and can have that set of tyres up their sleeve for a late safety car. But as it stands at the minute, it's been green for a little bit now. And Skurlock, Williams and Luke Crum, car 30 or truck 30 from Luke Crum Racing. He's out in front in truck 30 and keeping his nose clean. But I tell you, if you look in his rear view mirror, Jai, it's something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's definitely heading up, and definitely a nice looking truck as we look back. But he's got a pretty steady gap here. As we see a pretty angry group by the look of it coming up towards his rear bumper.
That's Luke Kenny, Sebastian Vandell, Craig Roffey. He's having he just lost a position there to Gareth Anderson in the 0-0 truck. But the battle back here, even if we go a little bit further, so these here, oh, here we go, can't talk. Here, these Southern Stars Esports boys that we just talked of, the car 1, the 0-2, and also the truck of 3 of Adam Malone. Have a look at them there. They're working together and working together nicely. Almost 50% through this race. This crew currently sitting just inside the 10. They're looking in for a strong finish. Another a group of cars, or a couple of cars there, Sebastian Vandell and Gareth Anderson. Gareth Anderson, to note, 0-0, is up 30 positions.
Yeah, definitely some big moves in this race so far, and definitely comes down to a bit of strategy as well. But all those trucks that pitted on lap 24. That's the magic number, as they say, to get home on one more stop as well. So definitely be looking to keep one eye on the guys that have stopped on that lap 24 compared to the guys that stopped on, say, lap 10 or 16 kind of thing. So definitely some drivers thinking well in front, and definitely some drivers definitely putting the foot into it now. So
Sebastian Vandel goes high. Gareth Anderson on the charge. He goes low, gets that position done, and Craig Groffey wants to have a go. That's the battle just for the top five, most will say, and the evil sort of battle that we were talking about is led by, I think it may be Anderson a little bit further up, but look at this four-car chain and starting to pull away, and got a Pinnacle Esports car there of Nigel Platten, truck number 90, so he wants to stay in this draft because these teams, Pinnacle and Southern Stars and Middle Split Racing, they're really close on the team's championship, so they got to make sure that they stay in. So Nigel Platten at the minute just looks like he's leaving or losing a little bit of ground on this pack here. What do you think the seconds behind where you have to start worrying about, am I in the draft or not, or am I not, as we go almost halfway?
Oh, the trucks are pretty nice with their draft package. They seem to punch a pretty big hole in the air. So especially at the like the super speedway, it's about 1.4 seconds behind the truck in front that you can actually still benefit somewhat from that draft. So yeah, they punch quite a big hole in the air as these two trucks get quite close going around turn 2. But yeah, definitely if you're within that 1.4 seconds, you're not out of touch.
1.4 seconds, stay in and around that, and you'll get the draft. You'll save fuel, you'll save tyres. Nigel Platten comes down the inside now. He wants to have a crack. Oh, that's Raymond Yeager, rather. The truck's 17. He's got down the inside of Jason Wolf. Is a good view of them side by side on the lead into this corner as we almost go halfway round. Let's jump on board. Let's get a lap around here. With someone in the midst of the battle, or someone that's got a hungry pack right behind them. The car for Sebastian Vandel Premier Racing Team currently sitting in 5th position on a little bit of an off-kilter strategy, but doing well almost halfway distance here. Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, round 5 here at Pocono. Let's turn it up. Tell you guys, pretty hard ass to do a crank it up lap when there's heavy fuel saving going on from this angle. Well, that's quite evident, isn't it, that the young fella, Truck War, is really struggling for fuel. Maybe he's going for a one-stopper as we're under caution.
Yeah, it's young Sebi is definitely one of the best fuel savers in the business, and he's proven countless times that he knows a thing or two about saving fuel. So the guys in the trucks that pitted around that lap 24 mark, they would have only had to save anywhere between 1 litre and half a litre of fuel to get home on that one stop, where Seb and a few of these other drivers pitting on lap 10, obviously they've got a lot more fuel to take on board. So we'll see, I reckon, at least the top 8 come to pit road, and then the rest of the field they might kind of split the strategy from here.
Skurlock, Williams, Crum, Anderson, and Vandell. That's your top 5. We're back under caution again. I think I've got what was the incident there? Trent Gosley went off track. Remember last week? What a great introduction to the league. I do believe he's pretty strong last week. And pulled out of caution here, and the car's 0-4, I do believe, of that one. Just around he goes, and pulled out the caution, and the Gaming Den truck down on right of screen just chose to pull in there. So, well, as expected, Jai, the leaders come into the lane.
Yeah, it's a bit of bad luck there for the Gaming Den truck there, because he would have actually entered a closed pit, which would put him at the end of the longest line. So it was just a bit of bad timing then, as we were coming pretty close to green flag pit stops there as well.
Oh, no need for green flag pit stops, because I do believe these guys that are stopping now, a lot of trucks getting put up on the jack. So new set of boots here, and we're going to go another halfway. Remember, 2 sets over the wall, so we can get another change later for the majority of this field. But it's all playing into hand, isn't it? The race is playing into hand of these drivers right now, and it's just setting us up for a sensational finish if we can get some green running.
Yeah, definitely, and having the kind of split strategies as well between the trucks are going to make it even more exciting. So we had the top 5 stay out under that pit stop, and in 6th place, Michael Skurlock is the first one that has taken tyres now. So we'll see these top guys that were making their way forward, maybe fall back into the pack a little bit, but they've only got about 8 to 9 laps of green flag running on their tyres anyway, so it's not too much of a difference.
You'd have to take tyres if you haven't already at this stop, wouldn't you? Yeah, I think that's a given.
Yeah, definitely. Going by the, it may catch you out a few of these drivers, because the percentage of the wear displayed in the pit stop doesn't actually drop off that much, but the time itself drops quite heavily as well. So we'll just have to see who's paying attention to the lap times as the run goes on, and kind of doesn't get caught out by that low percentage number that is displayed for the drivers.
So we've got a Skypoynt Ford, I think, leaving the pit lane there. That was lucky to get back out in front of the pace truck. The lights are out. We're going to see green racing once again. Lap 37 of 70. I believe this is our 5th caution of the night. Shields, Mackenzie, Malone, Douglas, Fryer. That's your 5, and good to see the Southern Stars boys. Well, they're leading from the front, aren't they? And I reckon they would be asking for a pause the sort of race clock sort of as it stands at the moment, because if we would do that, they would have top 3, and the only 3 in there as well. A couple of the other boys from Southern Stars, and a little bit further down, Andy Barber in 25th position, and a couple of the other guys a little bit further down in the field. So you got to if you'd find yourself one of them drivers a little bit further up in your team, well, then that's, although you don't want it to, but that's a little bit of added pressure in it, because well, your teammates didn't do so well, so let's try and do it, do the team proud. So we've got to watch for the rest of them guys to not get that added little bit of pressure onto their plate, and bring us to green one more time and keep it nice and clean. We do envision one more set over the wall for the majority of these trucks. Different strategies will come out. Different strategies will be the winner of this thing. Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series 5th caution, back to green. Southern Stars lead us this time round. Jules Mackenzie Malone, nice restart from the front, and then we go a little bit further forward where the middle is car 30 or truck 30 of Luke Crum. Good restart for him. And all in all, Jai, we're back under race conditions, and that's the way we want to keep it.
Yeah, definitely looking for those longer green flag runs. As we've got Luke Crum just getting a little bit loose there, but does a pretty awesome save there and keeps it low and gets it back going straight. But yeah, definitely hoping for the longer green flag runs here.
Truck 30, Luke Crum having a big incident there, falls a little bit further down, probably losing about 6 positions in that little bit of a moment. Better than Benedict though. He's right alongside the 0-4. That's an out of sequence car, so 0-4 of Trent Gosley. Fighting for Lucky Dog, I do believe. First car off the lead lap. Back up the front though, with Aiden Schulz, Mackenzie and Malone. Southern Stars leading. Dave Douglas, remember he's on the alternate strategy as well. And also Skurlock. Up 31 positions for Clayton. Up 28 for Gareth Anderson. Up 18 for Luke Kenny. Another good round for Luke Kenny, and only new on iRacing, and only second league race, to be honest. Truck 27.
Yeah, definitely Luke Kenny making his mark on the iRacing platform as the car in front of him just gets a little bit loose. I think that was Nigel Patton in the 90 truck, but yeah, Luke Kenny definitely doing a stellar job and getting up the front and kind of taking it to a few of these guys that have been on the platform for a lot longer than Luke has. But yeah, definitely doing a stellar job early on.
And he takes it 3 wide as well on the exit of that corner. He's going to be held out to dry, I think, as he goes the low line. Can he get it done? He's got Colin Bruns in front of him, Reese May behind him, truck 27, Luke Kenny. He's going to push. He's going to have the push of the 96 behind him. He chooses to go the high line, bit of contact. And, well, now he's in the draft there. But he side drafts as well. Oh, good bit of defence. Like 40 or 70, 30 to go. These guys have put a high price on their position, and he gets that done finally.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good technique here in the ovals with yeah, that side draft and clearing the 96 truck to turn 1 there was a big help there. So he'll be looking to do the same to the 111 truck here and keep making his way forward. But yeah, definitely got a few cheeky techniques and well worked out techniques as well.
Make the guy in front of you make the mistake. It's easier to pass than you try and make the pass get done anyway. There's a car on the high side. Most of the trucks rather on the low side as we go 3 wide down the straight. I'm not too sure who that is. A little bit further up, I think that's Rena Kiega caught up in that as well, and Van Del. There's a little bit of battle happening here, but it's up further, I think. Jai up further a little bit. The battles are starting to happen, but that's Dave Douglas back to Anderson and Jaeger with a pretty fierce battle on their hands.
Yeah, definitely battles are heating up and down the field so far, as we've just had a change for the lead actually. Darren McKenzie going to the top, followed by Skurlock and then Schultz. So definitely jumping around a bit, and we're only really about 4 to 6 laps away from a possible green flag pit stop to those guys that want to pit at the earliest time to make it home.
Dave Douglas is going with them, so they're working together. The truck 98 of Steve Williams, he's working his way through, up 10 positions. Down the inside, you'll probably see him get this position done, try and split the Southern Stars boys up, gets that done pretty easily. We got a Roffey truck 10. I think that will be Dave. Oh, it's not even a Roffey. It's a Dave Douglas in the truck 10. Down the inside, he wants to go again, but I'll tell you one thing, that's what I'd be doing as well. Split up the teams, split them up. You don't want them working together. Oh, Steve Williams, and there was one of the Southern Stars boys that may have been Schultz, just grazing the wall there.
Yeah, well, when we were talking to Aiden Schultz earlier under caution, he did mention that down the straight, the draft is a bit important. So these other drivers will be definitely looking to break up the other teams a bit more and kind of take away their advantage running with the teammates.
Michael Skurlock, I called it at the top of the broadcast. Well, truck 350, got some lap traffic to deal with. He's got a pretty handy lead on the seconds the margin, and then Southern Stars and Co behind. Mackenzie, Williams, Douglas, Jules. That's your 5. A little bit of a battle. Colin Bruns falling through the field just a little bit, but everywhere we look so far, the driving looks clean. 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide at a time. But, well, with Skurlock, Mackenzie and Williams having a crack at the front, where else would you rather be looking? And you don't know who's leading right there. Look at that. Williams, I think, is maybe moving further back in the field. Could be strategy.
Yeah, Skurlock at the front. He's definitely liking what he's going to be seeing in his mirror, because he's got the gap out to about 1.6 seconds, which is out of that draft zone. So, yeah, seeing these guys behind him fighting away, he'll be laughing and trying to wait into the sunset at this point of the race.
Have a look at that jostling. And that's probably what you, just in reference to what you were talking about. He sees them mucking around and battling earlier on. Remember, we're only probably about 60% through this race. We've still got 26 laps to go. They're slowing themselves down by battling as hard as they are. And Skurlock, well, looking in his mirror, that's the view he can see. Back to this battle, Steve Williams, Dave Douglas and Mackenzie. And this is where the battle's at. So this battle's for 3rd, 4th and 5th position. Douglas, Anderson and Mackenzie. Mackenzie looks to pull out of that one. Lets them have it for the time being. 26 laps to go. Round 5 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series here at Pocono. And it's been good up the front. It's been good everywhere. Jai, well, if you were driving right now, where would you rather be? The front, middle, or at the back?
Definitely be out the front. Any race car driver really would like to be leading as much as possible, but definitely with a 1.5 second lead over second place. Yeah, if I was in Skurlock's shoes right now, I'd be laughing as well. But we're getting closer and closer to that magic number. We're only roughly about 3 laps away from that critical lap, so we'll see who decides to pull the pin early and come in and get their last set of tyres and fuel to the end, and who'll run out this this middle kind of stint, as it's quite a big strategic gap between the 2 main strategies that we're seeing here tonight.
And it is quite evident in that there's probably only about 2. There might be a couple more, but definitely 2 highlighted strategies. And Dave Douglas was on an alternate strategy. He was the only one to stay out under the 4th caution, and he's currently sitting. He's having a good battle with Raymond Yeager. Raymond Yeager is also another driver that's pushing through, but Dave Douglas will be interesting to see. Raymond Yeager, he's now starting to put the foot down, because I've seen him make a big move, similar to what he just did down the inside. It's almost a slider line down the inside to gain 2 positions. Skypoynt behind him working together. Raymond Yeager now starting to put the foot down. You don't want to push too hard, do you? You've probably only got 1 more set over the wall. You want to save that for as close to the finish as you can, providing him go yellow. But these guys now are pushing on. Raymond Yeager still starts to pressure the 0-0 of Gareth Anderson. Another big mover, Jai, up 33 positions.
Yeah, definitely these top guys have made their way up to the front and definitely deserve to be there at the moment. But I did notice Raymond Yeager making his way past cars early on in this race 1 by 1, and it looks like he's continuing to do so as we see Dave Douglas peel off, so he's pulled the pin early.
Well, one of the last to pits in one of the first strategies, one of the first to pit in the final strategy, 23 laps to go. We know every driver can make their way home. Tyres is key. Will tyres be the answer to this? Will a late safety car be able to roll the dice and see if we can get home with this? 23 to go. We go caution again, Jai. So this will probably play into the hands of people that are waiting for one, or do you wait for a later one? What's the call?
I'd be very interested to see Dave Douglas at the moment, because if he beats the pace car out or beats the leader out and stays on that lead lap, he should go to the point. He should go to the lead of this race with this caution and when it's come out.
Well, let's have a look at Dave Douglas there. I think he's done just that. There's Michael Skurlock. still yet to pick up that safety car. So there he is there. So Dave Douglas, there we go. What's going to happen to finish your sort of call what you were saying before with beating that pace truck out? What does that mean for him in terms of strategy?
Well, pitting when he didn't, especially with this yellow flag coming out, he'll be all good on fuel to make it all the way home. So there is still a possibility of seeing these drivers split the strategies and go to two distinct strategies. One would be come in, fresh tyres, full fuel, make it home. And the other one would be saving a set of tyres for that later caution that you mentioned before, Pete, but still filling up to get home. So if you do get that late caution and late pit stop, it's fresh tyres with maybe only 10 or so laps to go and trying to drive back through the field. But either way, you'd want to come in and fill up to the end because you know you could make it home. And if you got to come in for fuel now, it might be the end story for your race.
Skurlock, truck 350, has been up thereabouts throughout this whole race. We've got Steve Williams and Anderson there as well. Anderson's up 12th position, and we've got a big field of guys. So there we go. That answers your question, Jai. So it looks like we're going to have a 22-lap sprint, and everyone thinks we can go green again. That's what I'm sort of picking up.
Yeah, definitely everyone's coming in for the fuel to the end as Dave Douglas jumps up my timing board as he goes straight to the front of this pack. So very timely caution for Dave up the front here, but the only thing we'll have to keep an eye on now is the pit times. If the pit times are around the maybe 13 to 14, even up to 15-second mark, that tells me they've taken tyres. But the other end of that is the like 6 to 9 second kind of window is fuel only stops. So definitely have to keep an eye on who's got the fresh set of boots on the trucks and who's kind of assuming that it's going to go caution later on in this race and saving that last set of boots for the end.
Just having a look at my timing now. Dave Douglas, when he pit was lap 47, a couple of laps prior to these guys. He done a 14-second stop. Skurlock, Williams, Jaeger, Anderson, Patton, Sebastian Vandel all talk in between in that window of 7 and 9 seconds. So they're fuel only. Then down to 8th position, Darren McKenzie, 14 seconds. Have a look at that. He changed tyres. And then Craig Roffey didn't. Adam Malone, he changed tyres, presumably. Aidan Schulz did as well. So did Reese May. And so did the majority of the field. So we're still looking at that 2 split sort of end to the race. I think if you didn't take tyres now, I think that's going to be sort of a tough ask to get home. If we do get a caution, if we don't, well, I don't know. Time will tell. Dave Douglas is about to bring us the green. Skurlock and Williams. And Dave Douglas has the newest tyres on his truck, Jai. So we said it was going to be from the top of the broadcast. It was going to be a tyre game here at Pocono, and it's playing out like that with 20 laps to go. You really need green boots to be competitive at this stage, don't you, Jai?
Yeah, well, a good thing with Dave's strategy at the moment is on one hand he's fuel to the end. He can make it home. Bidding on the lap he did, he would have had to save about 200 to 300 mil of fuel, which this caution he would have well and truly been able to save that. So that's no longer an issue. And also, he does have fresh tyres. So it's not until Darren McKenzie down in 8th place that he's the next truck with fresh tyres. So there's another 6 cars in between him and DMAC that are on the old tyres. So Dave will be looking to get a good jump here and kind of extend the gap quite early on, and then just manage his laps and manage his tyres as he needs to, and kind of hope that there won't be another caution now. West
Shannon Blackburn, I think he's He's in pit now. I'm not too sure whether he's going to come back out. Tommy Pritchard also is in the pit lane. He's around about 10 laps down. So a couple of the drivers we didn't expect to get DNFs, well, they're in there as well. Tyres is a big thing. Lap 47, Dave Douglas went in last, and the majority of the field went down pit road lap 49. Pace truck will lead us to green with around about 20 laps to go. Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks Series here on a Tuesday night. Dave Douglas leads us to green, up 7. Michael Skurlock up 20, and up 11, Stevie Williams. And in the mid-pack, they fan out. That's what we're known for here at Pocono. But we're green again, 19 laps to go. Douglas, Skurlock, Williams, good start from all. And they fan out just like we know at Pocono.
Yeah, it was definitely a good restart. As you see, Jaeger dive to the bottom of Steve Williams trying to get the move done here, but definitely the restart that Dave needed, and he'll be trying to just look forward and drive away from this field and drive away from the older tyres. But yeah, old tyres, new tyres, everyone did a pretty great job on the restart there and not spinning it up and getting away cleanly.
Raymond Jaeger now not losing or not wasting any time down the inside of Stephen Williams. You don't want to give him an inch. We've got the car 02 of Darren McKenzie. He wants to go up there as well. Will he drop down behind Jaeger? No, he wants to do the crisscross. He now wants to go down the inside. There's an overlap. This may well come off if he's got the draft. The car 98 of Williams in front. Will he be kind? No. So, well, we've got Darren McKenzie there, hung out to dry on the inside, although his teammate Adam Malone is closing in, as is the other Southern Stars truck there as well. But side by side, teams, I think at this point is where you're going to be looking for them the most. 18 laps to go. Look at this battle, Jaeger and Williams.
Yeah, definitely the three Southern Star trucks are sticking together as well. As we've got also two Pinnacle boys of Raymond Jaeger, Nigel Patton. We've also got Douglas, Skurlock and Williams they're not necessarily teammates, but they've done a lot of racing around each other, so that it goes back to that level of trust as well. So we've got a few allies in this top 10 so far.
And in oval racing, I've learned to learn pretty much is that, well, loyalty in oval racing, it's nowhere. You push them to clear and give them a good push on the high line, as they don't wait for you to clear. They just drop down. There's a fierce battle. Schultz and Jaeger. Schultz will go down the inside, try and link up with the car 3 of Adam Malone. Teammates, you want the draft, they're working together. You got McKenzie up there as well, but Dave Douglas still leads this one up 7 positions, driving. Good little battle in the mid-back.
Yeah, we've seen the Dave Douglas has not really been able to get away from Skurlock up the front here. He's only got a half-second gap, but Darren McKenzie, Adam Malone, Aiden Schultz, they're all on the freshest tyres, and they're coming quite quickly. They restarted. I think Darren was in P8. He's already up to P4. So as we go caution again, with 16 to go.
16 laps to go. You just stay out for track position, wouldn't you, at this time, Jai? Surely not. You're not going to go in, or, well, if you go in now and there's a really late caution, do you go in? I don't know. I'm sort of thinking if I was out there, well, I'd just stay out now to the end and just hope for the best.
Really depends probably where you are track position wise, as we see Craig Roffey going in. Believe he still would have had a set of boots, but I think he may have just gone a lap down. But it really depends on where you are. If you've got a set of boots now to make it to the end, and you're kind of in that bottom maybe 50% of the lead lap cars, I reckon you'd come in and make take advantage of those fresh tyres that you do have. But if you're more so up the front, you might kind of hold stick, or because there's too much positions that you could lose as well as we check out a Skypoint replay.
This is what I'm pretty much sure what's brought us to this caution here in 212 of Christopher Tomlin. I do believe Steve Williams, the truck 98, and a lot more was to play out with that one. So I tell you, I think we may be looking at a little bit longer yellow period than I first thought. Jai, what do you make out of that one watching it first time live?
Yeah, definitely didn't see that live, but yeah, definitely very bad news for Stevie Dubb there, as he got a fantastic result last week at Phoenix. So yeah, obviously an incident has occurred there, and then it's just collected a couple of the trucks further back in the field as they've come through. So yeah, definitely unlucky for Steve and not the result he would have wanted, especially coming off last week. But just probably a good time to mention as well about the live race review that the Skypoint Truck Series do after the broadcast every Tuesday night. So they do that live, and you can kind of chime in and comment and kind of see how everything's done on that side of things with the league and the guys that help run it as well. So yeah, definitely something to check out as well.
Some may say the review gets more views than the actual broadcast. It's a barrel of laughs. The guys get along well, and to nut out any sort of race issues, or if there's any decisions that people are unsure of, they just put in a protest. And like you just mentioned, we'll go live probably around about 10 minutes after we round up what will be a great round to go. 14 laps here at Pocono, and well, I'll be tuning in definitely to have a look what some of these things that happen, because well, we only look at the good stuff. The drivers see some of the bad stuff, and race control, well, they're only called if something untoward happens. So well, I think we got the best seat in the house, Jai, where we can just have a look at all the good parts of racing, the strategies, the moves, the just the saves as well. And we've got the option to go back on a replay and have a look at it again as well. Race control, well, their job solely works on live. How'd you see it? Okay, you're at fault, bang. Oh, we can slow it down a little bit, but they've only got a couple of goes at it, and well, I think their decision is always wrong. That's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? Jai is under 7th caution of the night. 14 to go here. Could you pick a winner if you tried?
It's definitely up for grabs, and there's quite a few people that are still making their way through the pack on the fresher tyres as well. So Dave did a pretty good job of holding the lead there, and you've also got Skurlock that's doing quite a good job on the older tyres as well. So the longer we go on the new versus old tyres, it kind of stagnates out a bit, so it kind of evens out as the run goes on. So the lap difference on the tyres, it makes less and less of an impact having that tyre difference. So we'll definitely see if some of these guys can hold on to their tyres and see if some can use up their advantage, as they've kind of still got the big advantage over the older tyres kind of thing as well.
Dave Douglas will bring us to green. He last pit on lap 47. The majority of the field on 49, a couple on 56 as well. 13 to go. Skypoint NASCAR Truck Series, round number 5 here at Pocono. And what a race it's been. A little bit stop-start, but the racing when we have been green has been sensational. Dave Douglas got a couple of laps shy on tyre life. Skurlock's been, well, I tell you, he's looked really racy throughout, so he's going to be a driver to watch. Although you can't miss him. Have a look at that very colourful car on the front row high side. And then you've got the Southern Stars boys. They're looking out both rows a little bit further back. So they're going to be working together as a team, as is the Pinnacle boys a little bit further back. Pocono, round number 5, Skypoint NASCAR Truck Series. This hopefully will be the last restart. Dave Douglas waits, he goes. Skurlock with him, Anderson with him as well. Southern Stars, they get a good start of this restart. Most of the drivers still here tonight, but let's have a good run to the finish, Jai, and the guys working well together so far.
Yeah, definitely working well, and I just saw in the outside row on the restart there, Nigel Patton got a bit checked up on the outside, and he's one of the drivers with the freshest tyres at the moment. So definitely not the restart he wanted to do, but definitely looking for those Pinnacle boys to really make a hard charge late on here in the race with the freshers.
Well, here's a right up alongside now with the 0-4 of Trent Gosley. Remember last week, Trent Gosley, I think it was on debut. He had a good finish, and well, he's going to get that position done or hold off that position as that run down the inside. That's quite evident. There's a little bit of a battle going further on. Troy Mortensen, Sebastian Vandel, they're a little bit side by side. So Vandel just peels it back in front. Bit of damage for the 23 of Mortensen here. Jai, I'm not too sure if you've caught anything that he's been caught up with, but a bit of damage for him as the guys now start to jostle for position. 11 laps to go.
Yeah, I have noticed a few of these trucks quite torn up, especially on the front, but I think that may have been that restart incident that we saw earlier on, which blamed a lot of these trucks and kind of banged them up a little bit. Definitely a hard place to keep your truck clean, that's for sure.
They've had a good go at it. Car 503, Jason Wolf up 16 positions. We're concentrating on him right now. He's got the car 4, or the truck 4 rather, or Sebastian Vandel behind him, and the battle pack up ahead. This is where the race begins. 10 laps to go. A little bit further back, this is where the guys that have the tyres, Nigel Patton, Troy Mortensen, Hugh Broffi, and you've got the Southern Stars boys there as well. Jai, actually that's a little bit further up. What am I talking about?
No, we just had 5 drivers in the top 8 just set a personal best lap time for their race. So definitely heating up, and Raymond Yeager with the Pinnacle Esports truck is up to P9 already. So he's definitely charging hard. But Dave Douglas doing an awesome job up front here. About 0.3 of a second. Sherlock, then Mackenzie, Anderson, and Schultz as your top 5.
Yeah, they're going great guns at the moment. Adam Malone, he's just dropped off a little bit, but this front stretch rather is starting to kick it up, and a little bit further back as well. I've seen the truck 30 of Luke Crum down the inside, or hopes to get down the inside of Raymond Yeager. But look at this, close the door, bit of contact. Raymond Yeager gets left high. Will he get the run? Will he try and go down underneath? Well, Raymond Yeager rather in truck 17. A little bit of contact there, but he pulls in behind. I think that may be Adam Malone.
Yeah, it's Nigel Patton in behind Malone there, but yeah, definitely Yeager and Crum getting into each other's doors going into turn 1 last lap, so they would have just kind of settled it back a notch and kind of revamped himself and had another crack, as we see Yeager absolutely fire it down the inside of Crum there in turn 3. So he's eyes forward again and keeps making his way up the field as he's looking at the outside of Luke Kenny at the moment.
Currently sitting in 6th position, up 11. Little bit of contact again. Oh no! That's twice in a matter of laps where we see a little bit of contact. First bit of contact, he held it, didn't he, Jai? He held it. This time he's facing the wrong way. 8 laps to go, back under caution. You got to feel for him because that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it was definitely a bad situation, and especially to be kind of in that situation 2 laps in a row, it's definitely not where you want to be. So definitely a bit of hard luck, and as he's just towed back to pit lane. So he was definitely on a hard charge, and definitely would have been quite a good contender for this one, I reckon.
Quite a few things happened as we went to yellow on this one. I'll go back to it and let's see if I can freeze the camera where I can. We'll go high in the air. This is what caused the the caution here, so we'll go high, so 3 wide, bit of contact, that's okay. Gets squeezed, the middle car. Oh, I was watching the wrong battle there. Look at that, just scissor around. And then we've seen, I think Adam Malone had a bit of an incident there as well. I'm not too sure, but a couple of guys after that one, not in the position, or not, they don't have rather the track position that they would much like. But Dave Douglas, he still leads us away with 7 to go, probably 5 to go once we go green again. Skurlock, they're going to battle till the end. Mackenzie, Schulz, and Adam Malone, I'm not too sure what happened, but he's back in 13th position. But 7 laps to go, mate. Anything can happen. It's been a little bit stop-start, but 8th caution it is right here at Pocono, and 7 laps to go. Elbows are going to be out well and truly. Everyone can get home.
Yeah, definitely right. Everyone's more than got enough fuel to get all the way home. So it's yeah, good to see that Dave Douglas has held the lead with these late cautions as well. He does have the fresher tyres compared to the drivers that were around him. But this restart, it's a little bit different, as we just see one of the Southern Star boys of Darren McKenzie do a bit of a fake there. I thought he was coming in, but yeah, no, this restart's a bit different than the previous ones, as we've got Dave on the fresh tyres compared to Skurlock, but we've also got Darren McKenzie and Aiden Schultz starting right behind Dave Douglas on the inside, and they've all got the same kind of tyre life tyres on their trucks, as we've got Skurlock and Anderson starting on the outside with their older tyres. So it's definitely, the inside is looking to get going, and it's going to really come down to those outside guys and how well they can get the power down and kind of limit that wheel spin on this restart, as we'll probably only be about 4 laps to go when we take the green flag.
Well, what I got out of that is everyone's right to go. Most of the people are on the same strategy in relation to tyre wear, and well, 4 laps to go. Everyone can get home. Dave Douglas is going to have his hands full, I think. Like the Skurlock's been thereabouts all the time, and then you got the Southern Stars boys. If you have a look, Mackenzie and Schulz are still up there. And a couple of the others have dropped down at Malone. He chose to pit. 6 to go, 5 to go, possibly 4 to go. We'll get some green flag racing, Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series here at Pocono. There wasn't 18. Wasn't 18 cautions this time, but it definitely, when we have had green, it's played into the hands of the guys that have got it right, hasn't it? But the guys that have kept it clean and had their game set is the guys at the front. Douglas, Skurlock and Mackenzie. They've been flawless all night, haven't they?
Yeah, it definitely makes it hard to kind of work out when to come in and take fuel and tyres, and to be this late on in the race and having our 8th caution. It's amazing to see them all come back together, kind of thing, and be as close as they are. So it's definitely a good job with these drivers up the front, and really all the drivers. We've still got 15 trucks on the lead lap this late on in the race as well. So it's definitely a hard race to call and to kind of plan, and these guys have done an awesome job to put themselves in a position to come and to get the win here tonight at Pocono. And as we come to 4 laps to go, it's going to be a bit of a sprint, but if the yellow does come out, it will be a green-white checker unless we're on the white flag lap already. So it's going to be very exciting and very good to watch.
We still have the green-white checker if it's needed. The pace truck will pull away. We'll get a restart. We'll go across the strike. 4 laps to go. Dave Douglas will bring us to green again. Skurlock, Mackenzie and Anderson there, the front, the 2 rows, teammates working together, guys that are on different strategy, guys that have just been there and thereabouts and been lucky, because you need a fair amount of luck when it comes to this oval scene, as coupled with skill and and strategy, if it plays off, I'll tell you, some of these teams, they'd be up to plan B or C or E. Probably some of them. 4 laps to go very shortly. Douglas, Skurlock, Mackenzie, they all breach the gap there, and we're going to get ready to start. Don't forget, just after this race, probably 20 minutes, we'll have the post-race reviews on the Skypoynt Facebook page. Dave Douglas, Skurlock, they go together. They'll bring us to green again. 4 laps to go here at Pocono. Down the inside, Darren McKenzie wants to keep it there as well. Aiden Schulz will go with him. But good start from Dave and Michael down around the outside, a little bit of different line. Mackenzie goes with them. Mackenzie with a good run. 3 laps to go as we go around the strike once again. But a couple of these boys, good restart. Teammates link up again there, Driver. Good restart. Well, 3 laps to go, I think, very shortly.
Yeah, that was a perfect restart from Douglas there. As soon as he cleared that start-finish line, he moved up the track in front of Skurlock to give him the draft and work with him straight away. So definitely a great and calculated restart by Dave.
As we have a look at this, Aiden Schulz, the car, truck number 1 in a battle with Kenny, I think, in truck 27. We almost went 3 wide. The guys are battling a little bit further back. This is a battle for 5th, up 23 for Luke Kenny, a little bit behind. And the guy in front, so Aiden Schulz wants to go down the inside. We've seen plenty of moves happen at this stage of the race. 3 laps to go, almost 2 laps to go. Dave Douglas still leads Michael Skurlock up the front, and Darren McKenzie. That's where the battle is. Oh, the battle behind, rather. Aiden Schulz just gets that position done on Gosley, but the top 3, there's a little bit of a gap involved in that. Joe, I didn't think these top 3 would be separated as much, but still good to watch as Dave Douglas rather gets a little bit squirrely.
Yeah, definitely there's trucks back here in 4th, 5th, 6th and so forth. Them fighting has definitely kind of released these top 3 away from the pack a little bit, but just want to give a quick shout out to Trent Gosley. He was lapped down early in the race, and he's come from nowhere back up into 5th position. So a great recovery drive from Trent from early on. So we just go to 2 laps to go. So if we get the white flag next time by, it's going to be a pretty heated finish, I reckon.
Green white checker, that will be the case. The cars are getting squirrely, especially outside that second. We've got Dave Douglas and Skurlock up the front. The battle, though, Skurlock and Mackenzie, I thought would be a little bit closer than this. Darren McKenzie, rather, he's the mastermind of strategy and a mastermind of when to hit that go-go button and just keep it pinned. But he's doing a good job. He'll come home with the podium if he stays where he is. And then the battle. The truck number 1, Aiden Schulz. He's got Trent Gosley behind him. Brunks, Anderson, Kenny. Look at this 4-car battle. And you've also got Nigel Patton with a run down the inside. Wants to get that position done as well. Make a mention for truck 27, Luke Kenny. Only second league race on iRacing. Only been an iRacing member for around about a couple of weeks. Sitting pretty up 21 positions in 8 as we go back up the front. Dave Douglas up 7, and Michael Skurlock up 20, and Darren McKenzie, Southern Stars, in 3rd position. The lead, well, it's pretty comprehensive now with the drive. White flags are out. I think Dave Douglas will take checkers.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way, but he's definitely not slowing down. He's gained about half a second on this lap alone over Skurlock, so he's definitely not laying it over and playing it safe all the way to the checkered flag here as they come around turn 3 for the final time and get Dave Douglas his win.
Dave Douglas comes across the line to get the W. Skurlock and McKenzie with the battle over the line, and Schulz, Gosley and Gareth Anderson. And you have a look at that. We had so many drivers on the lead lap as well. We got Nigel Patton comes across. He'll grab a top 10 alongside Troy Mortensen up 14 positions. A little bit of a beaten up truck, but top 10 for Troy. He must be happy with that, and a couple of the other drivers there will run through with a little bit more detail there. No Jai, but well, Dave Douglas, we thought he was going to get caught short, didn't we? We probably give him the short straw and give him the curse that he overcome earlier on in the race because, well, I for one thought that he pitted a little bit early, but well, obviously not. Up 7 positions, gets the W.
Yeah, it was definitely definitely that time of that final pit stop for Dave. It was a matter of a couple of 100 mil that he would have had to save if it was to go green all the way to the finish. So that caution period, as we see him accelerating down the front straight away here. The last caution period, oh, not the last caution period, sorry. The caution period where he did come down pit road for the final time was just perfectly timed, and that really set him up for the victory and to hold on for the rest of the race.
As David Douglas gets rid of whatever treads left on his rear tyres. Truck 10. What a strategy, what a night. Backs it over the line. Remember, you can't get disqualified once it's done. Have a look at this. Well-deserved win here. Round 5, the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series. Truck 10, Dave Douglas expires his engine. It's all good. He's got the win though, Jai. Well-deserved, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely well-deserved, and week in, week out, he's up the pointy end of the field, and tonight's just proved that he's definitely one to kind of keep one eye on in this series and in this championship, and he's looking like a strong contender with the form that he's showing here in the Skypoynt Truck Series.
He definitely is. Dave Douglas, he's done his burnouts. He's expired an engine. Parks just right on the start-finish line. But let's go through some results there, Jai, because, well, one race, 70 laps, a little bit stop-start. The green runs was what impressed me the most. As we have a look at the results, Dave Douglas, 1.3 seconds. It doesn't sound a lot, but when you're on oval, that's a hell of a lot. He'll bag a lot of points leading into this Royal Triple Crown and also the championship. Michael Skurlock and Darren McKenzie. That's our podium for the night. And the teams worked well together, didn't they, Jai? And, well, the people up the front, they're the, some of the guys that we thought. And there's quite a few people, as the list goes on, that we sort of would have expected to be up there.
Yeah, definitely a few nights that a few of these drivers won't really like to remember, but definitely a few nights that some of these guys are really looking forward into the championship as well. So definitely a bit of a team game as well tonight, as we saw a couple of pairings, and even the Southern Stars getting in that 3-car train.
Dave Douglas, Skurlock and McKenzie, though, they're standing by there in the green room. I do believe the battles, well, that was evident from start to finish. The only thing, and this is easy for me to say, Jai, that the only thing that I would have probably liked to see different is green from start to finish. But, that's a typical commentator thing, though. But all in all, what do we have? 8 cautions. And, well, Dave Douglas got it all right, and he's standing on the top step.
Yeah, definitely a good call to pit on that magic number, and it was definitely a very magic number for Dave taking out the win tonight.
We got Skurlock and Dave in the podium waiting room. Darren McKenzie just doesn't want to join us. We know he's in here. He's probably going to wait a little bit extra time, and we want to get a word with him first. So he's going to get the good old nudge, and that's the move to the broadcast. So that's just a nudge that we can do here. Poking the big stick, Jai. But what a good race it was here tonight. And, well, we've got the... Well, I was actually going to move down. Sorry, Darren, wrong room. But congratulations on your P3, mate. Took us through that race, because it was a bit up and down.
Oh yeah, it was a great race. Very strategic, tyres, fuel, had everything. Bit of racing back and forth, but I must give it to Dave. It was move of the night, pitting lap before that yellow. Got him back to the front, and that was the place to be in the clean air in the draft. Yeah, I didn't like the car as much. It was a setup we had anyway. It was definitely a leading setup.
Well, I think Jai went a little bit more political approach. I almost wrote Dave Douglas off, to be honest, with strategy. Oh, I'm not too sure if that's going to work, but well, it turns out that I think if you can foresee a race as good as that, well, that's just paid off now. But you and your team, you worked well together tonight, Darren. You're still running in together in big groups, and that's good to see as a team to move forward. A couple of sort of later incidents that probably seen a couple of guys just fall off a little bit, but you must be happy from Team Point to get a few of you guys in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, we're definitely looking strong as a team for a long time in that race. There was a lot of unlucky spots that they got put in and bit of contact and stuff like that, but that's truck racing, I suppose. So I've had some really bad runs lately. It's good to get a podium. So yeah, the team working well together as well is just icing on the cake.
It's good to have good blokes around you. It's good to be driving with some good blokes that you like to enjoy their company as well. But Jai, Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars Esports in third positions, mate. If you want to add to anything that I've said.
Yeah, no, just awesome result in getting the P3 tonight, D-Mac, and I noticed that you Southern Star boys really got together on the track quite early on and kind of stick with each other for majority of that race. So was it really important to kind of have those guys around you with the draft here tonight?
It definitely helped, especially early when we didn't know if it was going to go green or not. Like I was out the front, so I was humming and hawing. So I just put my foot down. Those guys had the tow, so they were all right with fuel-wise if it went green. But I was kind of hoping on the yellow early so I could get that fuel problem out the way. And then it was just a matter of I started getting a bit further back in the field. And as I said, once you get settled in the field, it is really hard to pass with the setup we had. So I don't know about others, but I just found, you just sort of got stuck in that rut where you're just following.
And talk us through, obviously it was a tyre game, not fuel. What was the like? Did you get your tyres to the point in the race where you were struggling and sort of, how did that feel? And did you get some notice?
Yeah, it was. I think there was when we was in 5th and 6th and 7th, I think we were on older tyres and the front four had just passed us before the caution come out. And yeah, we were struggling, but that was the game plan we went with. So I think with about 20 to go was our last set of tyres, and we made our way through the field, but we just had nothing left for those 2 leaders. They ran a brilliant race.
P3, you got to be happy with that. The season to boot has been going great guns. Southern Stars Esports car 02, Darren McKenzie, congratulations on your P3. Any shout outs, mate, and any any people you'd like to thank?
What do we got? Tiona Holiday Park, Mish's XL Garage, Skypoynt, and lastly, I'd like to thank Tom.
Yep, how good was it? Thanks, Tom. It's catching on, I think. It's an inside joke, but Darren McKenzie, P3 for that one. It was a great position. We've got Michael Skurlock and Dave Douglas lined up, ready to go. Michael Skurlock, mate, you were thereabouts all night. You had a few good battles. You had a few good sections of that race where you were out there by yourself. What do you like better, mate, in the heat of the battle or having a bit of clean air?
Oh, definitely clean air, mate. I don't like having to try hard. You know what I mean? Everything's a lot easier when there's no one putting pressure on you.
Well, it's work smarter, isn't it? Not harder. And well, tonight, I'm not too sure if the strategy that you had coming into it was the same strategy you had on the way out of it. How many sort of different plans did you go through, being a little bit of a stop-started race again?
Literally zero, mate. Like, I was so close not to racing tonight because I'm like day 2 on this special virus that's going on around, you know what I mean? And I've still got a fever and that. And Dave was like, "Come on, you got to do it." So like, he sort of twisted my arm. And then when I got in, I couldn't talk to him because his microphone was stuffed up. So I did like one or half a lap of practice, I think, because I'd have to go pick the misses up, and then I just gritted up, mate, and didn't really expect anything. I was just sort of lucky the way everything fell out. You know, people crashed and I didn't hit them. Everything sort of everything went my way, and I didn't really have to do much.
Yeah, everything went your way on track. Everything went to, life happens. So it wasn't the perfect, sort of lead up to it. And you still bag a P2. You've got to be happy with that. And that just just goes to show that keeping your nose clean and having that intuition to sort of go left when you needed to go left rather than getting that one wrong. But oval racing, I've said it a few times now, Skirly, you probably have to agree that oval racing, if anyone thinks that turning left is easy, jump on and have a go, because it's good racing but challenging.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, there's a lot more nuance to it than just that. You know what I mean? Like, everything has to fall your way to get a win. It's not easy just to get a victory.
Well, you're almost on a victory here tonight. P2, round number 5 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E Series here at Pocono. Michael Skurlock, mate, the floor's yours. Any shout outs for the people that get you here week in, week out?
Yeah, just shout out Davo for getting that win there, and well done to Darren and Tom and everyone who owns the Skypoynt and putting on this league. It's good. It's taken off well. The drivers are all good. Everyone's got respect, and thanks for you guys for putting on the show for us. Oh, and the BMX Bandits.
And the BMX Bandits, no, definitely need to get them guys a shout out. Jai, it was a good race through and through. You must have enjoyed it, and I'll let you kick off the interview with our race winner.
Yeah, just firstly, congratulations on taking the win, Dave, and really timing that pit stop to perfection and really bringing it home quite easily. Just with the old tyres, like with a full stint on the tyres as well, with a couple of the fresh tyres coming on. How did you feel that you had to kind of to manage the race to pull out the victory tonight?
Yeah, thanks, boys. Firstly, I just got to address Jason Holdsworth. Obviously my mic wasn't working, but that first caution that came out, I was just cruising behind, hoping to stay behind him, but unfortunately, I was just going to follow him straight into that car. I must have just been too close, and obviously it's come off my bumper. So, obviously apologise to Jason Holdsworth for that. That's on me. There's nothing in it, but that's on me. So it sucks that had to be me. But sorry, mate. But moving on though, I guess the tyres were good, man. Like on my truck, the setup was on rails, so they held on really well. So I know there was a middle part of the race where I was basically on the same strategy as Darren and his boys, Malone and Schiltzy. So I was on the same strategy as them, and I sort of just hung back and just measured the speed, and it felt pretty good. So I didn't put any sort of real pressure on, just looked up the tyres. So I noticed that after a few laps they started to drop off. So the tyre life was really good, and as you saw at the end there, was sort of, I guess, able just to hold on after those few restarts. So.
Was there a time, Dave, where you thought, I think I pit a little bit too early, or did you stick by your guns?
Yeah, sorry, with that pit stop, I only had 3 laps of fuel, so I thought, you know what, same deal with the tyre life. I knew I had good tyre life, so whether I stop now or in 2 laps' time, I'm probably none the better, no matter what. So if I can stop early and get a jump, I can like undercut the Skypoynt boys in the grey trucks. That was the theory behind it, was just to get a jump on those guys. And literally I thought, bet the safety car comes out here or something. Sure enough, it did, but the triangle being a long enough truck, I was able to get back onto the back of the train and be in the box seat to take the lead of the race, which basically out front, that clean air is worth everything here. So it was really nice out front.
Well, you stayed out there for a good length of time, Dave, and well, you got the W. It was a great. It was our pleasure to actually call that race. It was quite a good one. Bit stop starter, but when we were green, it was a pleasure to call. Jai, if you got anything else?
No, just again, congratulations on the win, and obviously, just a last question would be, just having that ally kind of thing in Skirley up the front to kind of take it to those Southern Star boys that were coming through the field. How important is it to kind of have those alloys in oval racing?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely helps because you know the guy behind you is not going to run into you. Like, you know, he can race for the win. If he gets there, we'll be able to race clean and with respect, you know. And to be honest, this whole league, the series, they've all been pretty good. Like, it's actually been really refreshing and a pleasure to run with these guys week in, week out at the moment. So, but yeah, as I said, like you can see, I was just giving him a draft off that restart because it's a long straight down to turn one, just so I could keep him as a rear gunner, I guess you could say. So yeah, it definitely helps to answer your question.
Well, it's great to hear those kind words, and great to get a little bit of an insight here into what it takes to win a round of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series and win a round here at Pocono. Well, Dave Douglas, you did it, and quite comprehensive as well, but great night of racing. And any last words, and any shout out to the people that get you here, mate, because it was a great win from Dave Douglas.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys. As I said, good to chalk one up. Obviously, a shout out to Tommy and all these guys, Andy and all the guys that run this league. Doing wonders. Love that. Love what you're doing. Just something a bit different. I like it, and I'm really enjoying it. Shout out to LA Esports putting on the broadcast every week. You guys do a stellar job. To all the competitors as well that are racing. As I said, it's been good racing these guys, and they're all pretty clean. It's been real good. So shout out to my guy Mitchie is my dad. On Twitch, he's my loyal streamer watcher, I guess you could say. But obviously the Skurlock, Darren for the podium. I don't know who else to thank. The BMX Bandits, but just thanks everyone, I guess.
Yeah, well, mate, well-deserved race win. Dave Douglas, Skurlock, Mackenzie was your podium for tonight, and well-deserved, wasn't it, Jai? And it was a little bit stop-start again, but it was great. It was great racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a good race and a great race to call, and filled with strategy, is tyres, fuel. This one had everything this week, so it was thoroughly enjoyable. And on to next week as we do it all again as we head to Michigan.
Michigan, quite a good circuit. It's going to be a little bit of the same. I think tyre life is going to be key, and I can't wait to get back to the super speedways, to be honest. But that's just my cup of tea. But I can't wait for this season to play out. It's really close. Remember, $1,000 up for grabs. The Royal Triple Crown, and well, Dave Douglas, Skurlock, and Mackenzie, they're all in the hunt. And well, Michigan next week. This week at Pocono, the podium's been spoken about. We've got nothing left to say here. My name's Peter Gretton. Jai Schultz was in the commentary. That was round number 5 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series. We'll catch us all again next week at Michigan.